The AP poll is out for Week 8, and I, predictably, disagree with a lot of this. Texas is your number 1 team. That I don't have a problem with. Oregon has vaulted up to number 2. Now, Penn State's the number 3 team in the country, and I understand why. And again, if I were an AP voter, I don't have a problem with it. The JP poll is not going to have Penn State in the top 3 or the top 5 on Tuesday night. But that's okay, because we're doing 2 different things there. Ohio State is still number 4. Okay, I get it. Georgia's number 5. Now, notice, even though Director Colin didn't draw a line on the screen, I think there's kind of a line right here between 4 and 5. I can't prove it, but I think there may be a line there because it feels like there's a little bit of separation between those top 4 and then what comes in the next pack, but also understanding there's maneuverability with a lot of these teams. So numbers 6, 7, and 8, for example, Miami, Alabama, and LSU in the AP are 6, 7, and 8, which just goes to show you in a year like this, calling someone a top 10 caliber team has baked into it many connotations. And one of those is you could be a really flawed team and be a top 10 team right now. I know because I just mentioned 3 of them. Iowa State is at number 9. Just please give me a moment. Iowa State's a top 10 team. And we all know the AP poll does not lie. So if they tell us that Iowa State's a top 10 team, Iowa State's a top 10 team. Clemson is at number 10. Clemson is underrated. I don't want to spoil Tuesday night JP poll release, but Clemson ain't going to be number 10 in the JP poll. I promise you that. Tennessee is at 11 right now in the AP poll. I don't have a problem with that. The model thinks Notre Dame at number 12 is very underrated. I know we've been disagreeing. Myself and the model, we've been disagreeing on Notre Dame. We'll see. Brigham Young at 13. The model's going to say it's way overrated, or they're way overrated, but you know what? I think Brigham Young may be this year's Washington. Last year, the model and Vegas kept Washington in like the 9, 10, 11 range, and they ended up playing for a national title. Is that me predicting that Brigham Young will play for a national title? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. But it's very clear there's going to be detachment between what the AP says about Brigham Young and what power ratings say about Brigham Young. That's just going to be the case all year. I've come to accept that. A&M at 14, I'm fine with. Boise, probably about 5 to 10 spots above what power ratings will have them. They're at 15. Got no problem with it. They got a big game against UNLV coming up in a couple of weeks. I do know that. Indiana, 16. Kansas State, 17. No problem with it. Ole Miss, I've got some detachment. So I agree with what the AP did with Ole Miss. They're down at number 18. So in a merit-based world, when you've lost to Kentucky and LSU, I mean, Cannell probably doesn't think they dropped far enough. Yeah, that's where Ole Miss should be. They should be in that range. The JP poll will almost certainly still have them top 10. I will probably explain why Tuesday. I already kind of explained it last week. I said, this model that has Ole Miss top 10 thinks they're going to lose close this week on the road. They lost close on the road. If a model that thinks a team that's rated at a spot is going to do something, and that team does exactly what the model thinks it's going to do, there is no reason for the model to move that team. So I strongly believe Ole Miss will still be a top 10 team in the JP poll this week. Doesn't matter because they have 2 losses. Missouri at 19. No, that's an overrated team. Well, at least according to the model. JP poll will not have Missouri top 20. Pitt, number 20. Very overrated. Who cares? They're 6-0. So when I say overrated, understand what I'm saying. The AP, I got no problem with them up there. I'm talking, I guess I should quantify or should qualify this. Talking about what the JP poll will have Tuesday night in a power rating format versus what the AP has. So Pitt's not overrated from the standpoint that they don't deserve to be nationally ranked. There's going to be detachment between ranking and rating there. 21 through 25 this is a trip. SMU at 21. Yep, I'm cool with it. Illinois at 22. We do not have them in the top 35 right now. Army. Yeah, I said it. Army is ranked 23rd. Michigan's 24th. Navy's 25th. And Army and Navy's offenses are way more prolific than Michigan's now, for the record. I can almost assure you at no point this year will Army and Navy be in the JP poll top 25. The talent profiles of the rosters will never allow it. So it almost doesn't matter. It's almost like you should take Army and Navy and put them in a separate category. I mean, because any predictive-based modeling is going to heavily factor in recruiting, talent acquisition. The rosters are made up totally differently. So they're almost like outliers. I don't even trust the model on Army and Navy. I've always felt that way, by the way. I've said that on the show before. Michigan at number 24, probably a few spots still too high as far as the JP poll is concerned.